Your relationship with money matters. I'm Michelle Perkins, and this is the Money and You podcast, where I will be breaking down your relationship with money, offering tough love money tips, and a money dating plan that will focus on lifting the barriers to success to help pave the way for better money practices and increased wealth. It's time to take control to live a limit-free life. It starts today. Hello, I'm Michelle Perkins, your host of Money and You, and thank you so much for being here. This is the show where we talk a lot about your relationship with money, which leads into how you earn money, and whether you're an employee or an entrepreneur. For both groups, living a limit-free life is about you being able to create an income source you love and a great relationship with money. Those are foundational pieces that will help move you into that limit-free life, which will then also impact your relationships and your health and the fun you're having in your life and everything else. So that's where I like to start, is with work and money. And I have a couple of great guests today, and I'm so excited to bring them on, which I'm going to do in just a minute. So we're going to talk today about an interesting aspect of earning money and some of the tools that we can use today that maybe weren't as accessible in the past. If you go to my website, limitfreelife.com, you will see some videos that were professionally done by the guests I have on today, Jaime and Steve Geffner of Geffner Productions. And so it was very hard for me to do those videos. I'm just saying. They will remember how painful it was, how much I procrastinated, and how nervous I was, and all of that good stuff. And they pushed me to do it. And they push a lot of people to do it, actually, a lot of business people, because they're coming from the entertainment world where people love to get in front of the camera, and now working with mostly business owners who are super scared of that whole process. And they have a really magnificent way of helping you to relax and do a good job in front of the camera. And then they do so much with corporate professionals, helping them to be at ease and have beautiful videos that sell their services and products. So I guess the reason I went into all of that explanation, I'm still going to read their bio in just a minute, but I want people to understand the value of video, which they will do a better job explaining than I will. But for me personally, that video has been an enormous help in my business. And so, just in full transparency, I'm so glad I did it. Probably should have done it earlier. I'm so glad they pushed me. And now I need to do more, because as the technology changes and the world changes, it becomes more and more important every day to be able to provide videos so that your potential customers can understand what you do and sort of meet you in sort of a virtual way. And so there's money in this, I guess, and that's why it seemed like such an appropriate thing to have Steve and Jaime on to talk about how you can earn more money in your business with video and what you can do. And I will say, from a personal standpoint, it is very difficult to do it on your own without help, without expertise. I have tried, and it doesn't go well. And so I keep coming back to Jaime and Steve. So we're going to learn more about what they do and how they can help. And it was something in my head that I wanted to say that I'm now blanking on. It'll come back. I'll be an award-winning husband and wife video producing team. They are the creators of Geffner Productions and Video Attraction Lab, where they inspire business owners to step into their greatness and become unstoppable with video, to increase their impact and grow their revenue. Geffner Productions offers totally done-for-you professional video production services, do-it-yourself online courses, done-with-you video services where they coach business owners how to film their own videos and then professionally edit the videos for them, and a membership community called Video Attraction Lab, where they support business owners to get into action with video and hold them accountable to doing videos regularly for their business. Before creating Geffner Productions together, Steve and Jaime each got their start in Hollywood, working for shows like Dr. Phil and Frasier. Over the last 13 plus years, they've produced, filmed, and edited over 3,000 online videos for hundreds of business owners for their websites, blogs, social media pages, online courses, live events, and more. Steve and Jaime have been married since 2003, and they live in Orange County, California with their 2-year-old son, Oliver Milo Geffner. baby, OMG. We love that. So welcome, Steve and Jamie. I am so excited that you are here. And I just want to say there, you have been on before when it wasn't Money and You, when it was the Limit Free Life show. And we had a great time talking about video there too. So if people want to really expand their knowledge, watch today and then go back and watch that one too. So.
Thank you so much for having us. It's always fun to have a conversation with you, and we love talking about money and entrepreneurship, and as it relates to video, of course, because that's what we love to do.
Yeah, and you guys are, I mean, you've made such a difference in the lives of so many entrepreneurs out there on so many levels. I mean, this shows a lot about your relationship with money. And you know, when you think about it, doing video is kind of a courageous act for a lot of people. But depending on what your relationship with money is, you're going to push yourself into that, you know, because it matters, because it makes a difference. And if you really believe in what you do and believe in yourself, getting in front of a camera, although scary, is going to be a game changer for your business. So I'll let you talk about why that is.
Yeah, I mean, you alluded to that in your introduction, Michelle, how doing video is not the first thing on everybody's list of favorite things to do for their business, but everyone wants the results that doing video can do for you, whether you're doing video professionally or doing it on your own. And we recommend that business owners do a combination of both eventually. But because people want what video can do for them, it's our job to help business owners really see that and inspire them into what's possible if they can step through the fear. And the fear is never gonna completely go away. But when your reason for doing it surpasses the fear, that's when you just know that I have to do this. I have to take that next step. And that's what we love to do, is just to really coach and guide business owners to help them get through whatever may be stopping or blocking them so that they can take that really important step and be more visible and attract more of the right fit clients to them, so that they can grow their business.
Yeah, thank you. And I know you probably have some stats on, you know, how video, how much of a help it can be. I don't know. You might not have them at the ready, since you know I was going to ask you that. But
always have stats over here. So
I mean, certainly in terms of creating more visibility online, there's things like that. But yes, when you use video strategically on certain pages of your website, where you're maybe trying to sell a product or trying to get someone to opt into something, it can increase conversions by up to 80% versus not having a video. And the other big thing about video, and you may want to speak about this, is just the emotional connection that comes from being able to communicate with someone in a way that's almost like you're in person, one-on-one, that you can't get just from the written words on a page.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the best way to connect is always going to be in person, one-on-one, right? Because you can see somebody, you can touch them, you can look in their eyes, you can really make them feel like you're there with them, like you care, like you understand, you're listening to them. That is the best way to make an emotional connection, which is what really drives everything in life, our relationships with people, our relationship with everything that we have, right? And so that is going to always be the best way to connect. But in a virtual world, or if you cannot be in person, like for example, what's happened in the last year and a half or so of our lives, the best way to make an emotional connection is by using video. But the trick of this is you want to sort of replicate the type of emotional connection that you can make in person with somebody, where you're connecting one-on-one, but you just are doing that on video, so that when somebody watches your video, they feel like you're one-on-one with them. They feel that personal relationship. They feel that connection. So we teach people how to take the normal one-on-one personal connection that you would have with a human being, whether you're having a conversation with them, you know, next to them, or you're even talking to them on the phone, or you're talking to them directly, just that one person, and translate that into videos that you do both for one, you know, still on a one-to-one basis. You can use video to talk directly to one person, or for videos that are one-to-many. But the trick is that you want it to feel like you're emotionally connected, because that's what people respond to, right? They respond to when they feel like you understand them, you hear them, you know what their needs are, you care about them, you are listening directly to them. So if you can make a video where people feel like you're talking directly to them, that's your gold right there.
Right. Right. And, in the old days, we would meet. People would come knock on your door and shake your hand. And, that's how it was done. So video is an amazing tool to kind of replicate that. I mean, without the actual physical closeness, but
it makes the world a lot smaller.
it does. And that thought that escaped me earlier has come back to me. So I'm going to talk about this for just a minute. But what I find as wonderful and valuable as this is for entrepreneurs, those who are working for organizations and are in job search are also finding now that video is a critical thing. And I've worked with people closer to my age who they'll see an amazing job that they're dying to apply to, and it'll ask for a video. And, they are just like, that one's, going to go by the wayside, even though it sounds perfect for me. And it's because the idea of doing a video for this company is just, it's too daunting and ridiculous. So, so good to know how to do video for everybody. And to me, it's a little sad. I would probably be saying the same thing, or I would have before I met you guys. But, it is sad to see people pass on great positions because they can't do a video, a 30-second, 2-minute video, so very valuable.
We talked a lot about that, and we actually do help people. We help business owners when they're trying to find the right employees, the right fit employees for their company, to use video in that employment process. And a lot of times, actually, one of the ways it makes the job applicant more willing to do a video for them is when you, as the CEO of your company, get on video, record a short video, sort of introducing your company, who you are, what you do, why that's what your company culture is like. Why would somebody, you have to think about it from your perspective too. You're trying to attract the right fit clients. Why would somebody, the right fit team members, why would somebody want to come and work for your company? Yeah. And then when you, as the CEO who's looking to hire, put that video out there, you kind of make the person who's applying feel more comfortable. It's like, if you can do it, they can do it, right? Mm-hmm. And so then people who are applying for your positions feel more confident to put themselves on video, just like you put yourself on video. So that also helps a business owner to find the right team members by using video themselves. So it can be done both to attract new clients and to attract team members. And then on the flip side, for a team member, potential team member, to let that company know that they are the right fit to work at that place.
Right. Right. And I feel like because of the pandemic and everybody getting on Zoom and going virtual, we've kind of like very quickly reached a whole different level of necessity for video. I mean, it's the cat's out of the bag now. I mean, we kind of all have to be good at it or better at it and at least willing to do it even, which brings us to the question of how perfect does your video need to be? Just what's good enough for the person doing it at home?
Yeah, I mean, we teach business owners that you have to get started. Obviously, the quality of whatever you're putting out has to be up to par with the quality of the products and services you're putting out in the world. It doesn't have to be perfect. We obviously have fancy equipment and cameras and lights and microphones and all those things when we do totally done for you services, but we also teach people how to do this in a much more simple way with your smartphone or with your computer or something that it doesn't have to be complicated. And by learning some very simple tricks about how to connect with your audience or how to start and end your videos or where to look and how to position yourself or how to design your background or things like that, it takes some of the overwhelm off the table and just really allows you to think about what am I creating this video for? Who needs to hear it? What do they need to hear? And being able to communicate with them. So obviously you want to put out quality video, but it doesn't always have to be perfect video every time.
And you can we really recommend a mix of both, do some professional videos for your business, the ones that are supposed to wow people, when they first see, like we did a professional brand story video for you, a video that sets up and shows people, who are you? What is limit-free life? Why should I care about your business? What makes you different? You want to do some key videos, either have them done professionally or learn how to do those yourself and make them as good as they can possibly be. There's those key videos that really need to wow and impress people that need to be at a certain level of quality. Now, once you have those, then you can also learn because you want to also connect with people on a regular basis, because it's all about building a relationship with people. So you want to be putting out regular videos on your blog or on Facebook Live, or whatever other methods you use to market your business. You want to be connecting. And so for those videos, they don't have to look as good as the professional high-end ones, the brand story video per se, but they should be at a level of quality that's as high as you can achieve on your own. Mm-hmm. So that's what we do, is we teach people, if they're gonna do it on their own, how do I do it in a way that is not gonna turn clients off? That's gonna not give anybody a reason or excuse not to want to hire me, because we don't want to let people off the hook. They're coming to us, or they're looking at our company to solve a problem, and we don't want them to take a look at our videos and say, oh my God, that video is so bad, or I don't understand, or they look so bad, or their background looks so bad. You don't want to plant any seeds into their mind about, maybe this person is not as professional as I thought they were. Maybe, I saw them in person at a networking event, or I saw them on Zoom and it looked like they had their stuff together, and then I should pay them several $1,000s. But then I saw this video and I'm like, I don't know. You don't want to give anybody those thoughts that maybe you aren't who you say you are. So that's why the quality of your video needs to be as good as it can possibly be. Some better than others, but if you're gonna do it on your own regularly, then learn how to do it in a way that you can present yourself in the most professional manner, that you are really paying attention to the details of what people are looking for, both consciously and subconsciously. And we can help with that.
Right. And just in listening to you speak, I can hear the ways that you, you're missing out on opportunities by not having it. I mean, just like what you were saying, if somebody's got this wonderful video where you just connect with them and then somebody else doesn't, I mean, really, who are you going to hire? It becomes pretty obvious how connected the videos are to your revenue. And
you also have to remember that in this day and age, there's a lot of competition out there. So we always like to tell people who are maybe afraid to do video or not sure how it's going to help, or, if they should use it or not, that when your customer comes to you, they actually have two problems. Okay. The first problem is the problem of whatever your company's products or services solve. So, if you sell something and they need that thing that you sell, a product or a service, that's their first problem or challenge that they're looking for a solution for. That's problem one. Now, problem number two is, who the heck do I hire to help me with that? What product do I choose? What service provider do I choose? If I put my hard-earned money into this solution, I want to make sure that the person or the company is going to be able to help me. And you have to realize, when there's so much competition, which there is in this day and age, the customer, that's what they're thinking about, is, what do I do? Who do I go to? I know there's 10 websites that all sell, there could be 10 websites about the same product or service that have the same features, the same benefits, the same client testimonial results, which one do I pick? And it comes down to trying to find something as a consumer that helps you feel connected to that particular company. Maybe you connect with their values. Maybe they tell a story that's like, oh, that's me. So you have to find a way to kind of bridge that gap for somebody. And it's not about you. It's about them. It's about your customer getting helped and served. If you can put up videos that really help people connect and understand why they should choose you, you're doing a service to them. And it helps them with the one problem that your company solves for them, and the problem of who they can choose.
Right. And you guys, and maybe this has evolved as you've built the business working with entrepreneurs, but as much as you have the expertise in all the mechanics of doing videos and all of that, you really have become branding specialists. I mean, when you help entrepreneurs figure out what to say in their video, you're very much focused on what you just said, which is, what are you an expert at, and what do you stand for, and what are your values, and all of these questions that are really important. So I feel like your services really go beyond video and really fully into helping the person brand themselves. Because you can't say everything in your video either. It's got to be narrowed down to something a little bit succinct. And so, you're very good at helping people find the right words and put the right pieces in there. So,
and oftentimes that is, it's when you can figure out who your audience is and what are their issues that they're potentially looking to hire you or buy from you. When you can figure out what their issues are and what they need, then you can communicate that in a way where it's not about you. A lot of business owners we talk to, like you mentioned, are scared to get on camera. When you take the focus off of yourself and you really just think about who is it that I'm communicating with that I can help and serve, and put the focus on them and solving their issues, then whatever's going on in your mind starts to dissipate, because you're really just being of service and presenting, hey, here's who I am, here's how I'm different, here's how we can help. And if we're the right fit, then let's make this work.
Yeah, and that is key, though. Is a different differentiation. Is you have to know and understand who you are and what makes you unique or different. What makes you uniquely qualified to help and serve the customer that you have. So you have to really do your work, your inner work, and dig deep. And remember why you started your company in the first place. You know, why did you decide to leave your corporate job or, you know, go off on your own and start this company? Getting reconnected to the reason why you decided to go in business in the first place is so important. Figuring out a way to really differentiate yourself, like we were talking about a little bit earlier, is, you know, when people have a choice about who to choose, they're looking for a differentiating factor. How do I decide between all of these options? You know, and so if you can find a way to make it really easy for them to understand that and then connect that to the service you offer and the problem that they have, it makes it really easy for them and for you.
Right, right. Yeah, I love that, because it really is the combination of, you know, the video production and the messaging, and having the right message on your video. I mean, you could do a great video where you're just talking about something, you know, that doesn't resonate with anybody. So that's not the point here. So you guys are really experts at this point at business. I mean, you're very good with marketing, messaging, and all of that, and then packaging it up into a great video. So I think in my mind that it has been a huge help. And so what kind of videos should people be doing in general if you're a business owner? And the brand story video for your website, that's, you know, that's of course a great one. How else can people use video, and why should they?
Yeah, being strategic and having a plan is priority number one. We say you should never just do video for the sake of doing video, without any real clear goals in mind. So we teach something, you know, with our clients and our students about what we call the customer journey, and how there's different phases of the customer journey, and using video strategically in each of the 5 phases. You want to talk about our love analogy?
We have a little love analogy we like to use. We like to compare having success in a love relationship with having success in a business relationship, which is really how you quote unquote make money with video. Because a lot of people, you know, they ask us about using video, but really what people want to know, bottom line, how do I make money with video, right? So we use this customer journey path. I can give you a really, really brief explanation of what this is. So let's talk about love, right? So when you are trying to find the one to be with, there are 5 phases of a love relationship that we like to talk about. So first you have to meet somebody, which means people need to know that you're available and you're single and you're ready to mingle. And then after you meet somebody that you like, then you start to date them, right? And you have to, in that period, you're going to get to know them. They're going to get to know you, see if you guys are a good fit to be together in a long-term love relationship, finding out things about them and their life and their values and what they want, to see if you're the right fit to be together. Then after you find the one that you think you want to be with, then you're going to ask, you're going to propose to them, ask them if they want to take the commitment, take this relationship to the next level, and obviously propose marriage. Then once you get married, it doesn't end there. It does not end there. Now you have to focus on keeping that relationship, keeping the love alive, making sure they know that you value them every day, so that you can, you know, maintain this relationship that you so wanted, which is why you started this whole process in the beginning. And then finally, after you have had a sustained relationship for a while, maybe you want to grow your family, maybe you want to have kids, or you just want to expand your circle of support around you as a married couple. So we say that those are the exact same 5 phases that apply to getting customers and ultimately making money with video. So let's talk about what that means. So phase 1, meet. That's your brand awareness and differentiation. You have to let people know that your business is open and ready to take customers. People need to know why you're different and what it is about you that is keeping them basically connected to your company. Then after they find out about you, then you're going to go into this dating period, which for customers is your lead generation and your nurture sequence. And that means that people are not ready to just buy from you the second that they meet you. You need to nurture them along. They need to get to know you. You need to, share information, establish your expertise, establish your credibility, let them know why they should continue to listen to you. Why are you worthy of their time and attention? So that's the nurture phase, or phase 2 of the customer journey. Then, and only then, once they know why they're listening to you, can you actually make them an offer? Ask them to buy something from your company. You have to prove yourself to them first. You don't just walk around and hand somebody your business card and say, buy my widget, right? They have to get to know you and feel like you understand them and you can solve their problems and meet their needs, or they're not ready to buy. So that's phase 3 of the customer journey, which in love is asking them, in business is asking them for the sale, right? And then it doesn't end there. Once you go through all that trouble to get through phases 1, 2, and 3, now you have to keep them. You have to keep your customers. That's client retention and re-engagement, letting them know the minute that they buy from you that you care about them. You're there for them. There's so much that we can do in the client retention phase, using video to make people feel welcome, to make them know that, they're in the right place, so that they don't have buyer's remorse the minute that they pay you. We like to say they have buyer's rejoice, creating ways that people are really knowing that you're in it, not just for the money, but you're in it to really help them and solve the problem that they came in with. And then phase 5, once, they're a happy client and customer, you've kept them on board, then you can start to look at growing some brand ambassadors. So phase 5 is the growth and referrals phase of the customer journey. How can you get people who are your clients and customers to not just be clients and customers, but to share you with all of their friends and everybody that they know, become ambassadors for your brand because you've taken such good care of them. They want the whole world to know that you're there for their people and their friends too. So that you're not the only one who's shouting from the rooftops about buy my stuff. You have other people talking on your behalf, really helping to grow this business, grow this company that you've created. So ultimately,
the key is to use video strategically in each of the different 5 phases with a very clear goal for each one, so that you're moving customers along the path and really nurturing and growing that relationship with them.
And that's the key, is to think about it as building a relationship, which is why we use a love analogy, that every single phase has a purpose and has a reason.
Right.
And it's like, for example, if you were dating somebody and you dated them 1 or 2 times and then you stopped calling them, they would think that maybe you don't care about them. You don't really want to be with them, and they're going to go off and they're going to find another person that can take care of them. And the same thing is true in business, that if you don't keep moving along this customer path, this customer journey, and really nurturing people and making sure every step along the way that they know that you still care and that you're taking care of them, they might go off and find another company, another service provider, another product that is going to take care of them better. So it's really, the key is to think about it as you're always building a relationship with people every step along the way. And we teach you how to use video at each one of those steps to increase your conversions and to increase the chances people are going to move from one phase of the customer journey to the next.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. I love the look at it strategically versus just, I'll just do some videos and just go out there and just start talking about, whatever. Which I think people feel like if they do that, they've still produced a video and people will hear them and know them, but it doesn't have the results that the strategic approach would have, for sure.
That's what sort of gives video a bad rap, is that people don't really know what they're doing. They just think, oh, I should be doing video. My business coach told me, or I saw other people doing video. Maybe I should just do it. And yes, you should be doing video, but you should also be doing video in a very intentional, purposeful, meaningful way, because that is the only way that you are going to get results. I mean, you could get lucky, right? Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. You could get lucky, and one person might be like, yes, I'm going to buy your thing, which happens more often if it's something really inexpensive than if you're selling something that's for thousands of dollars. Most of the time, if you're selling something for thousands of dollars, the higher the price tag is on your services, the more people do need to get to know you, and the more you need to be strategic with what it is that you sell. Right. So yeah, you should never be like throwing spaghetti up against the wall trying to see what sticks, because video does take time and effort to put together. It's not just like, snap your fingers and it's totally done. Even if you're doing a Facebook Live, you still have to get dressed, put your makeup on, get your hair done, make sure your set looks good, make sure you know what you're talking about so you can be as succinct as possible. There's still things to do, even with a very fast live video per se. You have to know what to do with it and where to put it. so that people see it. Because if you're just doing video and nobody's watching it, that's not really helping you that much. And so video gets a bad rap that it's time consuming, it's expensive, but really it's only expensive if you're not doing it properly. It's only time consuming if it's not getting you results. So when you know how to do things in a way that's actually going to produce a result, it saves you time, because then using video, you don't have to you can talk one time. You can do a video that you talk one time and 1,000 people see it, or 1,000,000 people see it, depending on what type of business you have. So it saves you time by communicating your message in a one-to-many fashion, as opposed to having to talk to each one of those people one-on-one and one at a time.
Right. Yeah. No, that's great. And I think, for people who are business owners, they're accountants, they're lawyers, they're doctors, they're not influencers on YouTube every day. This is a big deal. It is a lot of time and effort and, a little bit of, the setup itself for me, when I've tried to do a few of my own, it's hysterical. I should video just me trying to set up lights and, cameras on things. Because it's you really just feel sort of ridiculous, so that experience, you're not going to want to replicate that on a regular basis. So I think having a system, having kind of having a system for sure of, once you figure that out, or you work with people like you guys who can help you figure out things like the lighting and where things should, be situated, that's huge in itself. And once you get that down and you can set that up more quickly and easily. And, I've been just thinking for myself, what is a good system for somebody who's, this isn't their main thing. They're doing their work, and then they have to also make time for some regular videos. Do you have some?
Well, I want to say one thing about that before, and you can talk about the technical part. But when you are a business owner, and this is something I think we don't really know when we become business owners, but we learn very quickly once we are an entrepreneur. Your business is only 50% really what you do and helping and serving your clients. The other 50% of your business is marketing and sales, letting people know that your company is out there and that you exist so that they can pay you for your products and services. So I think people forget that really easily, that your business is not just about, actually fulfilling on the client work that you book. Yeah. You have to really think about, how are you going to market yourself? How are people going to know that you exist? How are people going to know how you're different? How are they going to know, like we're talking about messaging, the messaging that you need to help people be attracted to you and want to work with your company. So we have to start with that idea that only, when people say, I don't have time to do video, I don't have time. It's like you're saying, I don't have time to get customers for my company. And if you want your company to survive, you need customers. So
I just want to say, I'm only grinning through this whole thing because it's like, the things that they should tell you before you get married, that's something that they should tell business owners before they start a business. But
here's the thing. If they did, half of us wouldn't ever start a business.
Right.
So it's kind of like that thing where it's like nobody tells you how painful it is to have a baby. That's not true. They kind of do. But you don't really know all the little ins and outs of what it's going to be when you have a baby, right? So the same thing is true about starting a business. You don't want to know all those details, because if you did, then, you might not start a business. So it'd be like, la, 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 I'm not listening to you. Right. So, but it is the truth though, is that you should think of it that only half of your business is being the service provider or the product provider that you are. Yeah. And the other half is figuring out a way that people are going to want those services. So,
and I would say too, in terms of creating a setup and a way to actually get it done, the best setup is the one that works for you. And for some people, that just might mean all I can do really is turn on my computer. Maybe I want to put up a couple of lights, and that's where I need to start right now until I start to find my rhythm. For other people, you may have a dedicated space in your home or office where you can leave your stuff set up. You got a camera, you've got some lights, you've got your thing set up so that you don't have to break it down and set it up every time you want to use it. You can just go in and do it. But the best method is the one that works for you, that you're actually going to use. And if you get into a routine and a habit where maybe when it's time to get dressed up and get your background and get your makeup on, you want to go off and record 3 or 4 or 5 videos at a time, so you don't have to do it every day, and you can get into a routine like that. That's something that we do recommend for certain types of videos as well. But it doesn't have to be complicated. You can literally start with your smartphone or your computer. If you don't want to invest in a professional camera, things like that. You don't have to. These days, especially, you grab your iPhone. The quality of the camera on these devices is so good these days, and the price barrier to entry has kept creeping down with equipment and lights. It doesn't have to be an expensive undertaking, and it doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to have the same professional studio lights that we have, but there's some really inexpensive lights and microphones and things that can work with your smartphone or with your computer that really do a great job, so that when it comes time to film and you've got your content worked out and you've got your wardrobe and your makeup and your background and those things worked out, you can literally just show up, start talking, and then you're using video strategically according to your plan, according to whatever result you're trying to get with that particular video.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. It does get me thinking about just how to, if you could have a setup that was maybe just stayed in a place, so that you had the setup and you didn't have to redo that every time. And
we have some clients who they'll put a corner of their living room or their office or something they dress it like a set, and they've got a chair and a plant and a lamp, and they can just put their little tripod with their phone on it, turn on a couple of lights, and they're good to go. So it doesn't have to be something that's terribly complicated. We have in our background right now, we have our 2-year-old's little climber thing that I don't want to have to move it out of the way every time we're doing an interview or a training. So it's part of our set now. But people know that's part of our brand.
I didn't notice it before you mentioned it. So yeah, very cool. Yeah, I love that. And, that's kind of a little bit of that authenticity. This isn't, this isn't a Hollywood production. This can be authentically you. You're in your office. You've got your own stuff around, and that's, I think, part of the charm, part of the appeal. People are getting a kind of a window into, who you really are. And just like you were saying before, you want to know that person is. You don't want, you want to feel more secure that they are who they say they are. And when I see the baby toy back there, then
they know we really have a kid and we're not just renting one for our videos. We gotta start putting him on the payroll soon, speaking of which, for his appearances for our company.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so there we could have had a whole discussion about how you had to pivot your own business during COVID, but I think because you really, really did an amazing job with that, as people who were in studios with people live filming them and taking care of all this, and then you were forced to do something different, and you did quite beautifully. And I think in a lot of ways, and I'll just ask you, don't you think this has opened some amazing doors for you guys in how you do what you do?
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
We have completely shifted from really almost all of our revenue that we've been generating for 12, 13 years had been from private video production, filming and editing services. And once the shutdown happened, any filming dates we had scheduled were postponed and indefinitely. We didn't know how long. And it after a little bit of a panic moment.
Just for a minute or two, we had a little bit of a moment.
But we really did move a lot more into coaching and training and empowering business owners to be able to do some of this on their own with the right coaching and guidance. So we do a lot of training these days. We do a lot of virtual work like editing still, but it's completely shifted our business in a way that has set us up in a way to be able to scale that wasn't possible when we were just working one-on-one with private clients. So obviously there's been a lot of unfortunate things and terrible things that have happened in the last year and a half. But from a business standpoint, it's really forced us into this situation that's really setting us up for where we ultimately want to be able to get to.
Right. And you can reach so many more people now. I mean, it isn't a matter of somebody having to wait to be able to get on your schedule at some point and see you, or, the logistics of people who live on the other side of the country and how do they get to work with you. So, so many more people can benefit from what you offer. So can you tell people who, there are people out there who hopefully now can see some more reason for doing video, but also for those people who already got it, how do you make that easier for people and more doable, and how can they find you and work with you?
Yeah, well, I mean, the main way that we've been working with people these days is through the membership community that we started called Video Attraction Lab. And basically, it's a membership community for business owners to help them get in action and stay in action using video for their business. And as Steve was saying, we do trainings where we're teaching on different types of videos. We were talking about that customer journey earlier and the different phases of the customer journey. Well, then the question is, well, how do I use video to make more sales? How do I use video to nurture my clients? How do I use video to differentiate myself? We're teaching people how to use video, along that customer journey path. So that's a big part of what we do. And we do other things like bringing on guest experts, in different areas related to video production, where there's someone else who can come in and educate that client on that. So we have this club set up where we're able to reach people from all over the world. We have a private Facebook community. People come in every month. There's a video assignment, and they post their video so that they can get feedback from us and from other members of the community. The other thing about it is I think one of the biggest problems people have around video is that it can be so isolating. It can be so lonely. It can be so challenging. You have questions that come up that if you don't get them answered, you get stuck, and then you don't go back to it. You don't use your video because you get stuck on something. So this really allows us to have a group feel, a community feel, an aspect that we didn't have before and that other people didn't have before. It allows us to answer questions on a regular basis. It allows us to make equipment recommendations. When people say, well, what equipment do I use and how do I use it? And what should I do if this, and this? So it really allows us to really help and guide people so that they don't have those excuses. I don't have time. I don't have money. Whatever other excuses come up. I'm afraid to be on camera. It allows us to sort of break down all of those excuses and reasons and get you into action. Not only get you into action, but keep you in action long term. So that is the main way that we have been working with people privately. In a group for the last year or so since the pandemic happened. And of course, we still do private video production projects as well with people who want us to do the done for you approach. Or we do editing only projects for people who want to send us their footage and make it look pretty for me, like put this together for me in a way that I couldn't do for myself. We still do that. But the main way and the way that we are able to scale our business and really reach the most people and really provide that other aspect to video production, which is the community aspect, is through our club.
Right. And I'll share that I am in the club, and the minute you had that, I jumped on that. And you two are so generous with what you provide. I mean, you don't hold anything back. And people, who are interested in joining Video Attraction Lab, there is more information and more expertise than you can really take in. It's so great. And I know people are benefiting, so much from that. And I think you kept bringing up the words about, I can't do video because of this, and I can't do video because of that. And for myself, that comes up a lot with money relationship issues, and saying I can't feels like reality to the person saying it, but it's more of an are you willing question. Because if you're willing to go out there, and do this, you will make more money, and you will improve and up level and expand your business. So the question really comes down more to willingness, I think, than actually being able to do it. Because if you want to, and if you're willing, then you will find the time or whatever, and you're making this available to people, at a much more reasonable investment and all of that. So I would say it's a really, really valuable resource to have you two as trainers and mentors, and also doers. I mean, you are helping with the editing and the things that people need. So so fabulous. So if people are interested in joining the Video Attraction Lab or working with you in any other way, what should they do?
So one of the cool things, and thank you for saying all that, Michelle. I really appreciate that too. One of the things that we're doing to give people a little more taste of us and see what this actually looks like, we're doing a free 5-day challenge. It's called the Make Your Business Unstoppable with Video Challenge, and it's going to be starting Monday, June 28th. It's going to run for the 5 days of that week. And what we're going to do during this free challenge is really address the top key concerns and questions that business owners have around doing video. What's stopping them? What's holding them back? What's keeping them stuck? Breaking through some of the yes, the strategy questions, but some of the mindset things as well that as business owners inevitably come up. So we actually created a link for your audience. If you go to videoattractionlab.com/Michelle Perkins, it will take you to the page where you can get signed up for the free challenge. And then, as you said, we're over deliverers. So over the course of that 5 days, we're going to really just kind of keep you focused in and not get into the stuff that you don't need to worry about, but really just keep you focused on what is most important for getting into action with video, breaking through some of those limiting beliefs that might have stopped you or prevented you or made you unwilling in the past, made it not a priority for you in the past. We want to get you past that so that you can start using video in a really powerful way to grow your business, to meet new clients, to meet new team members, whatever the goal may be for you. So the Make Your Business Unstoppable with Video Challenge, we're so excited about it.
So excited. But it does address those things that you were saying, Michelle, about people not prioritizing it, being afraid, being unwilling. Like, our whole goal is to make you unstoppable with video. That's like our new mantra around these parts.
Our mission.
That's our mission, is to make you unstoppable with video. So we have found a way to really kind of systematically break it down in a way that's easy for people to understand. It's doable for them to get into action. And we love that we can make it simple, because it is a big problem that people don't want to do it. We were talking at the very beginning of this call, that we used to work in Hollywood with people who wanted to be on camera, right? And then we started teaching business owners how to apply some of the things we know from Hollywood and put themselves on camera. And they're like, I don't think so. That doesn't sound like a lot of fun to me. So our mission is to make it as easy as possible for you to learn these things so that you can, get in front of the camera and not feel terrified, not feel daunted, not feel overwhelmed and stressed and like, I just can't even bring myself to do this, because you do need video. You need video. If you're a business owner, you need video. If you're a job applicant, you need video. Like, really everybody needs video.
There's also a lot of business owners, though, who maybe they're not as afraid. They're doing it, but they're just not seeing results, or they're not quite sure if it's working.
Right.
So whether you're just starting and you're like, I'm too scared to even turn on the camera, or if you're at a point in your business where you're like, I'm doing this, but I don't really know if this is working or not, or I'm not seeing the results I want. That those both ends of that spectrum we're able to address.
Or even like, okay, when I did it, it worked fine, but I can't find a way to fit this into my schedule, or I can't find a way to make this time effective for me. Just the strategies, the simple tactical strategies, the mindset strategies, the tactical strategies, everything you need really to like be successful as a business owner using video. So come join us for the free challenge. And
I agree. Your challenges are phenomenal. You get so much valuable information just showing up for these kinds of trainings that you do for free, very generously. And I love, Steve, what you were saying. It isn't just for, I focus on the people who are afraid because I was afraid, but there are a lot of people who that's not their issue. You're right. But they don't have the strategic piece down, or the right content or messaging, whatever that is. And you guys, like I've said before, can help with all of that. So I would highly, highly recommend anyone listening sign up for the challenge. And again, there will be a link that I'll provide as well. And I think every week I do a money tip, a tough love Monday money tip. And I think this fits into that tough love concept really well, because my tip is very simple this week. It would just be do video to improve your revenue and whatever your business is. And so it is a little tough love, because as we've been talking, it's not necessarily easy. It's hard to find the time. do it anyway. That's the tough love money tip. And I'm going to give myself the same tip. I'm going to write it down and put it in my calendar, and you guys can hold me accountable. That's the beautiful thing.
You got it.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Loved having you on. You guys are amazing. And please, audience, check out GeffnerProductions.com. Is that still the... Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you can see lots more about Jaime and Steve. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And you are so wonderful. You could be running back to Hollywood and doing this with people who want to be in front of the cameras. And we know that you care because you're not doing that. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks,
It was a pleasure being here.
Take care. Okay, thank you so much, listeners, for being here. You can find the Money and You show every Monday at 7 o'clock on ubngo.com and the Limit Free Life YouTube channel, Limit Free Life Facebook page, and then afterwards on all the podcast platforms. Please send me your questions. If you have anything that you're wondering about with respect to money, to your relationship with money, to some of the limitations you feel around money, or your career change or your business and why you're maybe not having the growth and the expansion that you're looking for, please send me, Michelle at limitfreelife.com. Send me your questions, and we'd love to talk about them on the show, or I'd love to talk about them with you on a strategy call. So you can find the link to book a call with me at limitfreelife.com. And thank you so much for listening. Can't wait to see you next week.